Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, your executive producer here, and thanks for tuning in to watch or listen to whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to. In these trying times, we really do appreciate everyone that feels that we are worth their time, and we hope that we're able to give you something entertaining to while away the time as you spend it. We particularly want to thank those of you that feel like we're worth financially contributing to, particularly our $25 and up supporters on Patreon, who are Antitonic, Drevian Alexander, Cat Waterflame, Rowan Parker, and Samantha Bates. Yes, I read that off of a list. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that in these uncertain times, finances are tough for everybody, so that you're willing to donate to us means a lot to all of us here, and we thank you. That being said, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Star Wars: The Twilight Nights, Episode 17. I am John. I'm your game master for this evening, and joining me today is Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I am playing Crack Tulpa, the Quarren Sentinel Artisan, and I will let you know what sort of Destiny roll I got.
Oh yeah, I need to clear the Destiny pool. Hang on.
Yes, you do.
I woke up an hour ago for people watching.
Boo-hoo, I woke up 10 minutes ago.
I'm still asleep.
Yeah, yes. Congratulations on waking up 10 minutes ago. You don't have to run the game. If you're a player, you can wake up as the bell's going. Like,
I mean, I could, but then my boss would be really angry that I didn't work for the last 3 hours.
Fair. Okay.
Just let me know when we're good.
Yeah, go ahead, roll it.
Okay.
One dark side from Crack.
Hey, back to normal.
There you go, buddy.
When I'm not fulfilling some sort of divine pattern, I'm back to rolling single dark side.
And Aaron, go ahead and roll us that 2 light side.
You realize I've changed characters, right?
Yes, but
I'm 2 light side. I'm playing Red, the Miraluka Seeker.
And Jack's gonna roll 1 dark side.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Graztafa, the Wookiee Shian expert, and my Bruce Springsteen musical biopic based around the baking industry is going to be called Born to Bun.
No, absolutely not.
There's your 1 dark side.
Hey, here we go again.
And Mara, who's going to roll 2 light
I
side.
yield my time. Fuck you.
I don't.
Yes. Oh, single best moment of the past week.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Nere's droid consular. Here we go. Where's that? There's the button.
Oh,
No.
broke the pattern. Okay.
Yes.
We have finally broken out of that pattern. All right. Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Avazia, Pureblood Sith, Juyo Berserker, and light side.
We're in a whole new world where we don't know what's going to happen. William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Corsarath, the Pureblood Sith Makashi duelist, and I have rolled the dark side.
And Jeremy.
Oh, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Ilyana, Dathomirian, Mystic Night Sister, creepy girl, and a light side point. Hey, look, we're balanced.
You are. Weird.
Unlike me.
Weird. Anyways. It's episode 17, Aftershocks. I do not have a spiel written because, again, I woke up an hour ago. Which means I didn't have time to write anything. I'm really tired.
Do we have anybody who's over or under? Well, not under.
Oh, yeah. Do we have anybody that is over 80 or under 20?
Nope.
Give me
Not
7.
anymore.
Give me 7 more dark side morale levels, and yes.
Well, you have prisoners you can just randomly kill if you want to.
Valid point. Excuse me.
Once
Like-
again,
I like that you-
BioWare RPG.
I like that you decided to step off camera as if they were in your room.
Right?
Like,
Oh, that's right. They are over there.
What, you
Yes.
don't know about my prisoners that I have tied up in my room?
no, I didn't. Not until now.
There are people who
Um,
said
I'm
X-Men
learning all.
and aren't heroes.
Oh, so you live in that part of Oregon. There are 3 regions of Oregon: beach, Portland, and serial killers.
Yep. Legit. I'm in that border between Portland and serial
You're,
killing. So
you're in
I
the
see, I
border
see.
serial.
I see. I see.
Border cereal? God damn it.
You're welcome. I'm on a roll tonight.
No, that's the opposite of what's happening.
Is
Anyways.
border cereal like it's like
It's like the
a
border ethereal for cereal.
well, no.
killers.
The border cereal is like it's a breakfast cereal that has fun marshmallow shapes, but all the marshmallow shapes are cages and attack dogs.
There it is.
Anyways,
Ah, God damn it.
brought it back around. So, last week when we left off, you dealt with some Sith. Congratulations. At the expense of some captives who were being held hostage in the vain hope that you were all Jedi. So you showed them.
Listen, it should have been obvious when he saw me.
There are Sith that have gone from this. There are Sith purebloods that have gone from being Sith to being Jedi. More than one, in fact.
More than one, yes.
Yes.
That does not mean you can rely on that.
No, but when you are a Sith and somebody attacks your operations in a Force usury way, you assume they're a Jedi. You don't typically assume they are not Jedi.
Unless they're other Sith who are there to take over your operation.
Anyways, you dealt with the Sith. You acquired their gear and weapons, one of which was a neat little bracer implanted Shoto, and are in the middle of determining what to do next. So, at the moment, Red and somebody dropped. I don't know who. Aaron
Red.
dropped.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron dropped,
Yep.
and they're back.
Where's Aaron? Yay.
Zoom just crashed.
Zoom's like, fuck
No
this, I'm out.
explanation, no chugging, just crashed.
Zoom said, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh, the chugging
It
happens
looks
now,
like
apparently.
it did it again.
Oh,
Oh
look.
no.
And it
Oh
crashed.
no, Aaron's froze.
Or not.
Maybe?
The chugging happens now.
The chugging happens now.
Good that something is going horribly wrong.
Everything's normal. So there up
Flames,
the
flames.
image shifted, but then it froze again. So I see. Aaron is currently operating at one frame rate per minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's a frame
rate-
rate of 1.
Frame
At
rate is
least-
currently 1.
I will say one thing though. At least it's catching them in really good poses, like not like
Yeah.
horribly
And now there's a
embarrassing
phone.
bad poses. Like that's what always happens with me. Like it's the worst possible, like the
Hey.
kind of stuff.
Yep.
Me hoping to overclock frame rate to 2, but have to find more paint first.
So red and now they're gone.
And now they're gone. This is magnificent.
The show has been co-opted into let's see what Aaron's frame rate does next.
I'm excited for
Oh, this is the best
small
game.
clay animation figure. We can start going.
Stop
I was-
motion.
I was-
Aaron,
I was-
if you can hear us,
Harry
get some
House
play.
bullshit.
This is Twilight Nights. This is Twilight Nights.
We need a skeleton dancing across the screen.
Yes. Seriously, just go full Harryhausen.
Yeah. Anyways,
Indeed.
blah, blah. Red and Nereus are in the ship. Nereus has just informed Red of what the theoretical plans are. Red is disapproving. Graz, you and most of the group are still over in the around the Sith ship, where
Yes.
having now dealt with the prisoners, you can see in the cargo bay of the Sith ship where because Crack was fixing the ship, where there are the bodies of these dead slaves, there are also crates of equipment that look like they probably have things inside them.
Okay. Graz is gonna see if Zilda wants to start placing explosives yet.
Up, their frame rate has gone up to 3.
My favorite thing about the previous image is we legitimately couldn't tell if there was any frame rate issues at that point because Aaron was completely out of frame.
Yeah.
So it could have been like totally fine. Or it could have just
I
been.
gather this is still happening.
It
Cool.
could have
Oh, yeah.
frozen just 1
You're-
second when Aaron had paused to like reach down and get something.
You have more frames than just one, but you
Yes.
do not have you're not in the double digits yet.
It's progress.
I'm gonna try. Requires quitting Zoom. So,
All right. Zilda looks over at you as you ask him what he wants to start doing now. Let's get that ship cleaned up. Get the explosives offloaded. We'll get our prisoners secured away wherever we're going to get them secured away at, and then we can start planting explosives.
Now there are 2 of them.
What? All right. We have 2 errands now.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
not adjusting for that.
And then go over to find Crack wherever he's at.
I would imagine he's probably still in the engine room.
Tolba.
Gross. Are you all right? Any trouble
you-
during the fight?
Very little. Apparently I wasn't of large priority except for the once. Can you open this? And he hands Crack a lockbox.
What does it look like?
It is a small, smaller than a bread box, bigger than your hand. Steel, like dark metal container, with a digital lock on the side.
Is there any jack to it?
No, it seems like it's a key card lock.
Okay. Let's see. And he is picking up and turning and looking at it from all directions. Where did you find it?
Behind a loose panel.
Interesting. Here in the ship?
No. Back by the armory.
Well, probably too much trouble to go and look through all the pockets of the corpses there. Let me see if I can find a way in for you. Is it possible to essentially dupe a keycard interface and patch that into a data pad so I can try to slice it open?
You can make a mechanics check to do that. Difficulty 2.
Sure. I'll use manipulate on it.
Would skullduggery help in this at all?
Not to fabricate a keycard interface.
Not for that. Side of things, but
Skullduggery
for
would be if you were trying
breaking the locker. Whatever.
Skullduggery would be if you were trying to do a more physical approach as opposed to technical approach. Like if you were just going to try to like pick a lock, that would be skullduggery.
Jimmy the lock. Yep.
But
Okay.
Crack is approaching it from I'm trying to slice the lock, which is first mechanics for the interface, then computers for the slicing.
Well, all you
You
have
wanna
is a
try
hydro
and-
spanner. Yes, please.
All right. You didn't put any difficulty in that roll.
Oh, well, never mind.
Carson.
Still a good roll.
It's actually a bad roll because the only thing that gave you a success was the triumph.
Try that one again. All right.
Still good.
Yeah. Do I need the extra success?
No. You just need a 1
Okay.
success.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So 2 success, 1 advantage, and I'm not gonna flip the dark side point then.
Yeah. So yeah, you cobble together a like sort of like a you know those they have tools that they use to tune cars that you just like sort of plug in, but just like that, except for it's a key card.
Right.
Yeah, you can easily cobble that together, and then you insert it in order to get access into the digital lock, and you can make a computer check difficulty 2 to slice it open.
All right, we'll give that a shot. Is Graz hanging around during all this?
Yeah.
Crack is not constantly narrating what he's doing, which is different than his normal MO.
Normal. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know.
7 successes.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you pop ting, it pops open. Inside, you find
Oh, okay.
inside you find 2 thermal detonators and a cred stick.
Oh. One for you, one for me.
And then Graz's paw just reaches in and grabs the cred stick.
Let's find out how much is on that, shall we?
Do you have a reader? As Graz pulls out their own data pad and just reads it.
No, Graz, I don't carry common mechanical items.
I love how saucy crap
There-
getting.
There are 5,000 credits on this cred stick.
Okay.
5,000. These are
Imperial or
no, these are hut. These are hut space. This is a Huttese credits.
oh, okay.
Oh. Might I suggest
This will help.
Might I suggest we put those towards Kitty's project?
That is right. I do need to get you those pages, don't I?
I don't want to rush you. We have been rather busy with other things. But
Once
yes,
we're
when we
back
have
in
a moment-
space, but yes.
My understanding from speaking to her was that there were quite a few rather costly or rare components.
That
Kitty
would
and
be
I had
accurate.
discussed coming to this sector specifically for the purpose of gaining the credits necessary to get components for my own work and materials necessary for hers. So, and then beyond that, we certainly could anything not necessary for her projects we could use to get you something even sharper or more bashy,
Oh, look,
or
Aaron has frames now.
or to
Oh, sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. So you have frames now. You're moving.
Yay.
or to enhance your saber.
Perhaps, yes. Thank you.
Of course.
Don't blow your eye out.
I'll try not to. Do you know how to use detonators? Would Crack ever have
I was gonna
seen
say-
Graz training with demolitions?
Not training with them. What is the weapon skill for just
For hucking a
setting
grenade?
demolition? Not for throwing it, but like because I'm trying to remember what rerun usually used.
Hang on, let me pull up the thing.
Throwing a grenade is usually ranged light. from what I
Ranged light.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think if you're just putting it down and pressing a button, it's not really
Yeah.
a skill. It's just
Skill, right? Yeah.
you press
So,
the
yeah.
button and throw it down.
Right, yeah. Graz will just activate it, let it count to 2, and then deactivate it. They're fairly simple.
Very good.
Ah, yes, the Jabba's palace scene. Because he's holding
Exactly,
a thermal
right.
detonator.
He's
Ring.
holding a thermal
Ring.
detonator.
Yes.
Good scene.
Congratulations, you have 2 thermal detonators. Crack has one of them, which I'm sure will end well.
2 down, 998 to go.
I am willing to give Crack the benefit of the doubt that the mechanics professional knows how to handle a mechanical device.
I mean, the mechanical professional definitely knows how to handle the mechanical device. The question is whether or not they're in a mental state that is healthy for one to have access to high explosives.
Let me just improve upon this.
That was rerun.
That's the concern.
Look, I killed that guy last week by accident. I tripped and fell.
You were shouting about the bits.
Especially just handing the emotionally unstable mechanic the granddaddy of all grenades.
Mhm.
Couldn't possibly go badly. Is what
It'll
we're
be
saying.
great. It'll be great. You'll be going through hyperspace, and then the back half of the ship will just detach from the front half.
Don't worry, I'll give it to the Crabots. Who failed to open a door for 5 minutes straight.
Like, you don't get a bigger handheld explosive than a thermal detonator without trying real hard.
They failed to open the door for
I
5 minutes,
will
and they
say,
failed to shoot a
mechanics
guy with a ship gun.
The lack of power to thermal detonators bothers me because it feels like they were nerfed to give them to players.
I mean, they do 20 damage compared to a regular frag grenade's 8.
Yeah.
That's
Blast
a lot of
15,
damage.
Breach 1, Vicious 4.
I still don't think that's powerful enough. Anyways.
Yes,
Neither does Crack.
I can improve it. So what we're saying is that Crack has set us up the bomb.
Yep.
Indeed, he hath.
So, the lockbox has been opened. What else are you guys doing?
Graz is just going to start unloading stuff from the ship then and seeing what's in all the crates, and anything that looks like, oh, this is a significant amount of explosives gets set to one side on the landing platform.
Most of the crates, it's very easy to determine, are filled with like construction grade demolitions. It's not like the things they're not bomb collars. They're just like plastic explosive.
Uh-huh.
That
This
is
what we need, right?
Yeah, that's why you were wanting to ambush this ship in the first place, because they were bringing mining equipment, which is explosives.
And then we can blow this place up and make a statement about. Well, the Archon wanted to blow this place up. That's a statement.
Yes.
How long will it take me to repair the ship? I'm just gonna assume that Crack is still working on getting the ship up and running until you tell me it's done.
You finished. Yeah, you finished
Okay.
already. It was just repairing a coolant line, which you did last week, actually.
It's your tail. Come on, man.
It is a vicious attacker that keeps attacking from their blind spot.
Mhm.
Everything is fine, and they're nice and happy, and then something hits them where they can't see.
Or it moves at the corner of their eye. That
Yeah.
happens to me.
He's running away from it now. Good.
You
Good
have
job.
you have a tail that startles you occasionally, Mara.
No, I know if I see things out of the corner of my eye, it startles me. So don't throw stuff at me. Ever. I can't see things
Like, when
coming
it just
from
goes,
the side very well.
Mara, catch, and you just freak out.
Yeah, I sort of panic. It's not good.
But yes, the crates in this ship are primarily filled with construction grade explosives.
All right. I'll help Graz unpack them then,
So,
and start looking at the plan and going over, try to figure out where to put them for maximum detonation. Goodness.
Graz and Crack are unloading explosives. Corserath and Avasia, what are you guys doing?
Vasi is probably going back on the ship to heal a little more.
Right, so you're heading,
She still
heading
has
back to
some
the strain.
strain. Yeah.
Corserath is probably gathering up the fallen to see to them.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot from last week. Crack would also want to nag Nerys about getting into the oil bath because Nerys is still pretty banged up.
Yeah. But Avasia needs healing still.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Nereus is back on the
Well,
Shio
let-
anyways, so
Jax Red is going to spend some more time in the cockpit getting used to this specific set of controls and
Yeah.
Even though mechanically I can do it, acclimating's important.
yeah. This is
Corserath.
this is a pretty nice cockpit from your experience as well, Red, because the actual pilot seat is isolated. A lot of starships will have the co-pilot like to the right of to the left of the pilot chair. In this case, the co-pilot is actually behind you a little bit, so you have a full suite of controls at your hands, which is actually very nice for a pilot because you don't have to worry about accidentally, especially
I don't
because you're not
anyone's face
Exactly.
while I'm going for that panel that's on their side of the console.
precisely. There's nobody
Yeah.
around for you to accidentally hit if you're not paying enough attention to them.
Cool. And there's also a large number of helmets on the ground.
Yeah.
I believe Graz is saying something to Corserath.
Yep. Do you have one of those stim packs still lying around, or should I go back to the ship for that?
I have 3 if you need one.
Just one would be fine. Thank you.
Hand over one of them.
Slap it on their arm.
All right. So is that your first impact of the day?
First impact since we hit ground, I think.
5. You heal 5 wounds.
Cool.
2 stim packs left.
Excuse me.
Avasia, what's your wound level?
I don't have wounds, but I have strain.
Okay.
I
all
still
right.
have a love strain.
It's just difficulty 1 then.
Oh yeah, can we make the discipline check to self-recover strain?
Yes, anyone who wants to can make a discipline check. Simple. I think it's just simple, and every
4 strain.
success recovers a strain.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So 1 difficulty, right?
No, simple is no difficulty.
Oh, no difficulty. Okay.
Yeah, advantages don't do anything. Successes recover strain.
It's a discipline roll.
Yes.
Just because I have the props to do it. The bones! The bones!
Discipline or cool, actually.
Yes.
Oh.
If one of those is better than the other for anybody. Not for me, but
Cool would be great for me, but I have no strain.
Oh, they're the same for me. What is that just 1 success? Or can I count it for other things? Be fancy.
oh, for the triumph?
Yeah, I can't.
I think
remember.
in these cases it counts as just a single success.
Okay. That's fine.
Yes.
I'm down to 1 strain.
Yay.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. You can't spend advantage on these rolls.
Nope.
No, correct. As to the helmets that you've got, Aaron, I'm gonna put most of these are just oh, Aaron's not there. Never mind. Sorry, I was looking for the art that I was using for the security guard and I couldn't find them. So like, well, I have similar helmets that I can find.
And after unloading, Graz will just start moving prisoners. Like the apprentice, Zilda said, he was going to take in this Imperial ship, but troopers, Graz will start moving over to the Shio.
Aaron, I put in the Slack channel, most of the helmets will end up looking like that. In fact, that's actually very similar to the sort of outfit you would get. You would be able to cobble together from the things that have been provided.
That definitely works. The waiting until someone can help me so I don't accidentally iconography is still going to happen.
Yeah. But that's what most of the helmets look like. Is they're just sort of these clear, they sort of this clean glass panel helmets that go from the front all the way back until they connect with the metal. It's it's that particular armored glass that lots of helmets are made of in the Star Wars universe, though. So
yeah, and probably wearing that with the hood down, to be honest. But
yeah, and it's a full head helmet, so like it'll still cover everything.
I'm not bothering to wear it right now anyways. That's more for...
I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure you were sort of be able to see what the helmet would look like.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. So, Neres is treating Avasia. Korsarath is gathering up bodies. Ilyana, what you doing?
I'm legit trying to remember where I was last.
Around
which
the
is fair because
ship.
Masks for me.
That's right, and then I wandered off.
Yeah.
And also, that's fair that I wonder because Ilyana might not necessarily be aware, depending. You know, I think she is going to... She's gonna wander over to the other ship, where all the all the exploding happened.
Yes.
And just sort of stay there, for a little bit. She sort of essentially trying to be sort of a soothing presence for the dead.
Okay. As Korsarath drags them off the ship.
Yep. Well, the dead aren't that's just the meat. That's not the dead.
Zilda, as the bodies are being pulled off and the explosives are being pulled off, Zilda gathers up the prisoners and takes them into the ship. And looking at Graz as he passes, we'll divvy up the prisoners as you guys feel once everything's set up. But for now, we'll lock them all together. You're muted. I can't hear.
Very well.
Yeah. He takes them and locks them away somewhere, which means we can get away from that page. I'll put it here just because you're not all on the Shio, but you're also not all on the Shio. So yeah, you eventually get the other ship unloaded. It has been repaired. It is now cleaned up and ready to have people stored on it. With the cargo off, there's actually quite a lot of room on this other ship. It seems to be primarily a cargo ship, not dissimilar in design from yours, just where you have all this, like all these bedrooms and things. On that ship, it's just empty cargo space with a few rooms for a small crew in the upper level of the ship. It seems actually coincidentally very similar in design to the Shio.
Does it
But-
seem like a newer model of the same ship or the same manufacturer?
It seems more like because you guys weren't able to determine exactly what model the Shio was. It seems more like these two ships were based on the same prototype, but with two different directions taken to the alterations.
Potentially from the same manufacturer, though.
Potentially. Sinuses decide now is the time to start messing with me. So explosives have been removed. Crack, you know exactly. Looking at you because you have a diagram of the place, you know exactly where to plant these for the most effect.
Great.
The bodies have been removed. Are you just burning them, Course Wrath, or what?
Typical galactic send-off is cremation, yeah?
Yeah.
So, yeah, setting them all up on a pyre.
All right. You can build a fairly similar pyre to the one that Graz had built with the parts around. Explosives have been removed. Bodies have been removed to a pyre. Prisoners are locked away. People have been healed as much as they're going to be healed at the moment. Nereus, are you getting in an oil bath, or are you still hanging out for the moment?
Probably, yeah, getting into the oil bath.
All right.
Crack will help with that if you'll let him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And probably also, because I have it, using, I have a force thing that helps with this. Where is that on my sheet again?
The heal power?
No.
Healing
I
trance.
have,
It's one of your talents, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll be wherever you put your talents on your character sheet.
Yeah, healing trance. Which is going to get me for every full encounter. I heal 1 wound per rank, and I have 2 ranks, so that'll get me 2 as well. There it is. Yeah. So I am doing that. I don't think I have to roll for that, right?
No, you just do. You go into a meditative trance and you heal 2 wounds.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm doing that.
All right. Yeah. My sinuses are just killing me right now for some reason.
2, and then I can't find the oil bath in the books.
Every hour. Hang on. It's every hour you heal an amount of wounds, I believe.
Okay. Sounds right. I have 7 right now, so if that gets me off 2, then I have 5 to go.
An oil bath. So every hour spent in an oil bath heals 1 wound.
Okay. And how does an encounter relate to 1 hour?
Let me look at the ability again. That's from the consular.
Yes.
Which specialty?
Healer.
Healing trance. You commit a force die for every full encounter.
Mm-hmm.
For every full encounter, a force die remains committed. You heal 1 wound per healing trance. So you can't actually do that because you have your force die committed for suppression at the moment.
I stop suppressing.
Right, so you stop suppressing and you commit your force die for healing trance.
Yes.
We'll say that works on we'll say every hour that heals another wound.
Okay.
Because you're combining it with the oil bath.
Okay. So it'd be 3 every hour instead of just 1.
Yeah.
Every hour or every fight.
Yeah.
What is that like for Ilyana and Red? Does Norris just sort of pop back into their heads?
Well, Red is not
Red is that it was when Nereus went unconscious.
Red is not currently sensing at the moment. So
no.
So
Sorry.
for Red, nothing changes.
Okay.
Red is not in that room. I only have that within short range.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not doesn't have that first eye committed either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for red,
I
nothing
mean,
changes.
certainly nothing Crack would know in character. I just am out of character, curious how that
And
works.
Ilyana also isn't in that room or in that ship right now.
Yep.
Ilyana is at a different ship, sensing different things. Yeah, so every hour you'll heal. Every hour in the oil bath while you've got a dice committed, you'll heal 3 wounds basically.
Yep.
That's what we'll say.
So
That
it'll take
time
me
frame will
2
change.
hours and some change.
Meanwhile, for anybody that wants to if anybody wants to take advantage of the 2 Bacta tanks you have, the way Bacta tanks work are similar, but they can do other things. With Bacta tanks, you heal 1 wound every 2 hours you're in the Bacta tank. And at the end of each 24-hour period, you get to remake a resilience check to remove 1 critical injury that you're in the Bacta tank. As opposed to the week that it takes if you're outside the Bacta tank.
Yeah.
Oil baths do nothing to heal critical injuries on droids.
I have 2 of those.
Who
I should probably
amongst
do
you
that at some point.
has suffered critical wounds? Okay.
But I'm not. Other than the crits, I'm
Is there
not.
a little
Jack
whiteboard
roboting
hanging
just
out?
because my internet shit.
Yeah, no. Jack also Jack just had a huge frame drop in the middle of that sentence. Yes.
Oh, did I? Okay. Well, that's fantastic.
And now your audio and video is desynced, which is great. But I believe the question was how many people have critical injuries.
Yeah. Crack is not actively wounded, but he has 2
I've got
critical
1.
injuries.
But I'm busy with my own thing because I can't use a back.
Yeah, you can't use that shit anyway, so it's all good.
Does the oil bath help with crits?
No.
No.
Oil bath does
Oh,
nothing for
damn.
crits.
Okay.
To heal a droid's critical injuries requires a mechanic.
Yep.
All right. I'll try again. I think I tried once and didn't do it.
Can't you only try every so often?
Yeah, you can only try once.
Yeah, so I gotta wait.
You have to wait.
I don't believe you had. I thought you had just done the healing because I was down. I had been at 11. I think you'd just done the healing.
Can I make an attempt before Nerys goes into the oil bath then?
Sure. If you want to just heal the critical injury.
What's the difficulty for your critic?
1.
Okay. Gonna use the force.
Use the force.
It's like force healing, but not.
Yeah.
You have used the force.
4 successes and an advantage.
So
I assume that works.
Yes, you have healed the critical injury.
Yay.
All right.
Is Avasia still wounded?
She's got a couple strain, but she's fine.
Okay.
Strain recovers when you sleep. So.
Yep.
After Corsarath is done handling everything, he's going to go take a dip in a Bacta tank because he's not severely injured, but he still has 4 wounds, which could take some time to go away.
Yep. Corsarath goes and loads himself into a Bacta tank.
Raz will continue loading armor and blaster rifles and grenades and vibro knives and shit into the Shio.
Mm-hmm. You have quite a stock.
We really do.
Of middling quality blaster rifles and vibro knives.
Especially for what's our front again? I'm blanking. My brain's
organization.
Horizon
yeah.
Relief.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you and peacekeepers have guns?
Yes.
Yes, but you know.
UN peacekeepers have guns. Not all peacekeepers have guns, though. It's kind of a contentious point sometimes.
UN peacekeepers have guns. NATO peacekeepers have full military equipment.
So one Bacta tank's being used. We have 2, right? Anyone else have a critical wound?
Yeah.
Points at Crack.
Yeah. Does Graz have one though?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. I
Crack
think
has
Crack's
2, which keep
Yeah.
in mind, even if you're not suffering from any wounds, critical injuries are how you die.
I rise up out of the oil, Crack, get in the back to tank. Go
like
back
an
down.
avenging angel. To
Predator
roaring
up in-
rise and nag Crack. All right. Once we're done placing, Norris, I will sleep in it. All right. When it's time to sleep, I'll do it in the back to tank. It's more comfortable there anyway.
For the record, it's a full 24 hours in the back to tank, not just after 24 hours have passed from when you got the wound if you're in a back to tank.
I know.
Right.
Knowing that we're doing some wrap up stuff, Red will come over ship comms. If people are going to be suspended and back picked up, perhaps before that we could determine where this ship is headed, and so that everyone who's here as refugees just knows where we're going.
Where do we think we're going at this point, and how far of a
It's up to you
how
guys.
far of a trip is it going
Red
to be?
is pushing to have that conversation in character. You would get the impression.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
As
don't
for what
remember
Crack knows right now, you haven't
Yeah.
made a decision yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if we had already been given a destination.
No.
No.
Okay.
I would prefer going back to the Aeon Cutter and rendezvousing with to find out where we might head off next to be most useful for the Order.
It's likely not the wisest move to head to the Aeon Cutter with prisoners in tow, however.
I think we need to unload anyone who's not going in the same direction, and if we can do that at a neutral port of call.
Are all of the freed slaves going with Zilda?
No. About half of them are going with Zelda and half of them are going with
half
you
of them
guys.
going with us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, of the additional people that we have on this vessel, several of them are Imperial prisoners. The rest are freed slaves. I doubt dropping all of them off at the exact same area is a recipe for success.
Is there a nearby refugee? Well, is there a nearby refuge that would be able to take these freed slaves?
We're currently in hut space, but beyond that,
Would that be like an
through
outer
comms,
rim
right?
roll? Yeah, I think all this is on comms, yeah.
Okay.
You could. It depends on where you.
it probably does it.
Sorry, it depends on where you're looking to find a refuge. If you're looking to find a refuge in the Outer Rim, yes, it would be an Outer Rim roll. If you're looking to find a refuge in anywhere else, it will be. Let me pull up a thing.
I assume either Core Worlds or Underworld or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It'll be either Core Worlds or Underworld. Yeah. Difficulty.
What's the difficulty?
So we don't have to have this conversation multiple times. Sound off so we can check that everyone's actually paying attention.
I need a moment.
Difficulty.
Not for work stuff, but because Ilyana is doing something right now, so she can't sound off until that happens.
Make your force die. Make your force die roll, Jeremy.
Okay.
And that'll be difficulty 2 for everyone else.
Okay.
So Jeremy doesn't have any difficulty for there.
Yeah.
I'm voluntarily failing because I've spent the past however many years not
can do that.
knowing that stuff.
Fine, I'll take that fucking strain.
And conflict.
And conflict. How much conflict is that?
However many points
Isn't
you
it
take.
just 4? So 4? Okay.
It's however many force points you use, it's that much strain and that much conflict.
I will. I'd like to roll this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's not how it works.
There's all yeah.
It is according to the core rules.
Suffer strain equal to the number of results you generate, not the results you use.
Is it generate or use?
Yes, it's generate.
Right.
So you suffer strain. You suffer 4 strain and 4 conflict.
Yep.
Oof.
You don't have
all
to
good.
use all of them. You don't have to use all of them, but you suffer the amount generated if you flip the point.
Number of results he uses to generate force points. It's it is the ones you use.
Oh, I see. Where it is. Yeah, it's not very clear.
I mean, she's using them all anyways, because why would she not?
Yeah.
She has no sense of self-preservation.
I'm concerned about what
Going
you're
light
doing.
side is not a death sentence.
Evidenced by the fact that she has 7 wounds and just didn't decide to speak up.
Let's see.
Why do you think I want to have this conversation in person?
So, how many details can you pick up?
So I think I have 2 strength upgrades at this point, because I feel like I bought strength upgrades after last session.
You did.
Let me check to make sure. So, user can spend force points to pick out a number of specific details from the vision equal to the number of strength purpose to upgrade. May activate this multiple times, recalling more details each time. I have a force of 2, so I have to spend 1. I have to spend 1 for the duration.
Yep.
And I can activate that multiple times too. So I'm going to activate strength twice.
So you have to spend 1 to activate the power.
Yes.
You're spending 2 to activate the strength and 1 to activate the duration.
To activate duration. So
okay.
So it's going to be 2 full days and
2 specific details.
No.
4 specific details.
4 specific details.
Yes. Okay, so you fall inward into your internal void, from whence you can see the future.
Yes.
And you've never really looked this far into the future before, or this strongly.
Nope.
And you are barraged with an array of information, all manner of things, just sort of cascading into your brain. And it's hard to make sense of all of it because this is more information than you've ever taken in before.
Right, legit.
You see branching pathways that connect various different dots and various different things spreading out amidst you, almost like a starscape expanding in your brain, seeing the end result of multiple different action chains and choices that could be made. Sort of seeing almost the pattern of causality around you that would affect those around you. And at some point within those 2 days, you begin to pick out various specific details.
Okay.
You see...
I'm helping.
You see a confrontation between Mandalorian forces and Republic troops. You see a confrontation between Sith and Jedi. This one in particular, you see a power. You feel a powerful darkness encroaching upon the Aeon Cutter. You see
Encroaching cutter.
You see a figure in a mask with a Sith rune, the Sith rune of power emblazoned on it, looking over the remains of a destroyed compound, and you get a sense of fuming rage off of this individual, but not impotent rage, focused rage. That's 3.
Yep.
Oh. And you get a sense. You see. Trying to think of a detail that won't lock you guys into a specific path because
I know
these have to be
I'm
vague.
making this really, really. I chose the pain in the ass power for the GM.
It's fine. It's fun because I can
Tell us what we are going to do, so I can tell the other PCs.
because if I want to send you on a path, I can. But
Yep.
this is an inflection point, and inflection points are vague. You see a masked figure, red cloak, and a sort of a Durasteel helmet that has like a splash of red paint across it, and holding a purple lightsaber in sort of a relaxed guard grip, almost as if they're having a conversation with somebody, but are still at the ready in case things go bad.
Okay. Cool.
And then all of the causality that has been spread out before you collapses back inward.
Yep.
And you're conscious again.
So everybody just hears throwing up over the comms, probably, because that's the first time we've gotten that far.
Oh yeah, it's just like the sound of retching over the comm link.
Here come the dry heaves.
Yep.
I'll get them up.
It's fine. I'm in the other ship.
Is there
What
a
is
mess?
wrong?
Right. We're gonna be seeing a lot of fights.
Excellent.
Are you all right?
I'm good.
There's a coppery taste in your mouth.
I just have I have brain hurt. It's fine.
Did
You
you?
are also hurt.
I'm good. I guess I am bleeding still. No,
Let's get you to the back to tank.
it's okay. Most of it's cauterized, I think. But
Regardless.
armies, Sith and Jedi, different from the armies. Definitely Sith.
William, did you say Corserath was going into the other back to tank?
Yeah.
Okay.
Presumably after this conversation is over.
Yeah.
Yeah. The point is that once you guys are in the back to tank for 24 hours, it makes it very hard to have this conversation with everyone.
Legit.
But we can do
legit.
that while we're in space.
Yeah.
Yep.
That once everything's piloted, we're doing nothing.
Hang on. Craig, let Jeremy finish.
It's all good. It's all good. 'Cause she's being a little bit spacey right now, anyways. Something bad's coming home.
Are there specifics on something bad?
Are there
Darkness,
possibly
probably, like, it feels, I don't know, Sith probably, but let's not pretend there's not darkness on the other side, just a different kind of darkness. There's a confrontation. It's definitely it's definitely heading home.
What do you mean by home?
Our home, not my home that's not home anymore.
the cutter?
Yeah.
That is concerning.
And do you have anything approaching a timeline on this?
A day. Like,
Oh,
this
we
is
can't
all
get
within a day. We're gonna be seeing so much fighting.
Yeah, and the darkness encroaching was not a in your vision was not a they're there. It was a
Right.
something
It's
has
on the way.
within
yes.
within the next day or so, something will have had its attention drawn to the Aeon Cutter.
Yeah.
Seems like we might have a
It
destination.
probably won't be there yet, but
I see. Well, all right.
I'll draw some things. I'll show. I'll show them off. Once I throw up again, it'll be fine.
Well,
Quick votes then. Couple things to narrow down our options. How many want to get rid of our refugees in this region of space, or more, or closer to the core worlds?
has
Is-
anyone
I'm
off
not
the
looking for
refugees?
discussions. I'm looking for votes.
I'm trying to get a sense of where things are. Would core worlds be a significant detour?
Well, you're currently in the Outer Rim,
Okay.
which is if you think about the galaxy as because it is a spiral galaxy. If you think about the spiral galaxy, the Outer Rim is the outer edge.
Yep.
The core worlds are around the core,
Mhm.
and the mid rim is between those two.
Yep.
The Aeon Cutter currently, when last you saw it, was more in the outer rim than towards the core worlds.
Okay. And we're out in the outer rim.
You
right
are currently
now, right?
out in the outer rim, yes.
Fuck that noise. If I'm not voting without information,
Yes.
do you have somewhere safe in the outer rim, or are you just planning to get to the next hut over's territory and dump everyone there to fend for themselves?
So, John, I got 1 success on my core worlds roll. What does that get Graz in terms of good places to drop either prisoners and or refugees off?
Alderaan.
Okay.
And specifically, Alderaan is a core world that is unaligned at the moment because of its civil war.
Mhm.
And so, which means that you're not really going to be infringing on either Republic or the Empire. But also Alderaan is a core world, and that means there is no slavery. Slavery is outlawed in the core worlds. So that would be the whereas in the Outer Rim it's a lot more lawless, or the Hutts are in control, and the Hutts don't give a shit what you do as long as you kick back to them. Alderaan. So Alderaan is a fairly
Alderaan
neutral
by-
location. It's a fairly neutral location in the Galactic War as a whole, and also is a place where they wouldn't be immediately re-enslaved.
Okay. Does Alderaan potentially have a rampant prison system that disproportionately affects the socially disenfranchised? And no, sorry, I'm going off now.
Yeah, that's going off, and you can put that in a bottle right now.
So
Alderaan is also a monarchical society.
Okay.
There are multiple different.
Didn't we have a person who wanted our help with that, maybe?
They're, one of the Archons is a member of the Pantier family.
Not that I know this in character.
No.
Right.
Archon is a series of monarchies. Alderaan is a series of monarchies, which is currently why they're in an internal civil war, because the throne was usurped by another family, and so they're the families that were aligned with the original family and also aligned with the Republic, and families that are aligned with the new family or aligned to their own interests and also with the Empire are currently at war. But that means that there are lots of places for these people to find shelter and jobs and things, depending on what family you try to, what family's territory you try to.
What faction you sort of start signing up with.
Yeah.
So in response to Red's request for more information, Graz will volunteer a brief and slightly briefer version of that. Their suggestion is going to be Alderaan, given that it's mid-rim but core world affiliated, not aligned with the Republic directly, and there's some flexibility, and we even know somebody there, sort of. We have connections.
So
Alderon might also be a good place to offload some of the excessive amount of equipment we've just acquired. Considering when there's a war on, everyone needs weapons and armor.
Corserath, the arms dealer.
fine with me. I'll reiterate what I told your droid earlier. I have no interest in assisting the Republic in any way.
Fair
Well,
enough.
We do currently serve as part of a relief organization, which means that occasionally we will be helping people in Republic space. Maybe not the Republic directly, but there will be times when there are civilians in danger in Republic space and we will be assisting.
That is fine. Selling them war prisoners so that they can get more information and a potential upper hand in their squabbles is not.
Somehow I don't think these random troopers will have anything of value other than as a bargaining chip.
I don't really care whether or not they're likely to be valuable. If they're valuable enough for the Republic to buy, I don't want them to have them.
Interesting stance.
I'm
Red, where-
less than 24 hours out of a drug coma. My politics are pretty hard line right now.
Red, where are you looking to go after you get dropped off?
Ugh. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Sounds like there are plenty of
I
options.
have the
on
skills
Alderaan.
to be a mercenary. Hey, or something.
There's a chance that you'd find what you were looking for on Alderaan, then they'll be looking for people that are talented.
Does anyone have any other suggestions or a desire to not go to Alderaan?
Can I make an
That will-
underworld? Go ahead.
That will take us away from the Aeon Cutter, a significant detour. I would like to go back and see what the situation is there.
You can make
Right,
a
you
call
got
there, Nerys,
somewhere.
but if you need to open communications, Nerys, that will be fine. But I, for one, am not going to stand for bringing military prisoners onto or near the cutter. Should they
No.
be questioned afterwards?
Yes, no, I would suggest leaving them somewhere out here. And then proceeding to the Aeon Cutter with our refugees, we can have a fuller assessment of where it is safe to drop them.
Zilda listening to this via Ilyana's comlink, motions towards Ilyana to see if he can get her comlink. He'll take it and click it. How about I save you guys the trouble on that and just keep them with me?
Easily enough.
Yes.
That works.
That works.
Okay.
There is a secondary concern on returning immediately to the Aeon Cutter.
Hands the comlink back to Ilyana.
If we attract any attention from this explosion and someone decides they're going to follow one of the two ships that had recently left this place straight back to the Aeon Cutter, potentially angry Imperials, we bring
can
trouble onto our home.
I can probably chart you a route that jumps a few places before or it lands on your ship, even if it doesn't take you as far around as Alderaan would, depending on where you need to go in the outer end.
Attention's gonna be there already. It doesn't matter if we go back or not.
I also have an out of character question.
Yeah.
I was a lot more certain on the lore of whether you could track people through hyperspace last December, early December, than I am now. in this time period at least, how possible is it to track someone through hyperspace?
Give me a mechanics check, difficulty 2.
Okay. For success and a triumph.
So it depends. As it always does. The
Fair.
principal method of tracking somebody who's making hyperspace jump is to put a tracker on their ship.
Right.
If you have a strong enough tracker that can be targeted, from across the galaxy, then it doesn't matter where they jump. You'll always know where they're ending up. To live track somebody through hyperspace is near impossible, unless you are a very good pilot or somebody that has the Force. If you have the Force, you can just follow them.
Pantomime paid off.
If you have the Force and you can predict where they're going to go, you can just go there and be there when they're ready. If you can, which is not always a guarantee. If you're a very good pilot, because hyperspace tunnels, for the most part, are all registered, if you can figure out what hyperspace tunnel they're going through, you can figure out where the most likely route they are going to take. That one's probably the hardest of the 3 options, but it is not impossible for somebody to
plot what jump
John,
they just
correct me
took.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But a decent or good pilot could also throw someone off from that by jumping in.
Oh yeah, no, that third one is also the reason why it's the hardest is because it's the easiest one to countermand. If you're aware you're being tracked, or if you're taking precautions of being tracked, you can very easily make a few random jumps, and all of a sudden it's impossible to track you like that.
May I use that triumph to determine whether or not there is a tracker?
At the moment, yeah, you can. At the moment, there is no tracker on your ship.
Okay. What about the other ship?
The other ship, I'll say you can use that triumph for one ship, and because you now know it, I'll say you use it to figure out your ship doesn't have a tracker on it. You don't know about the other ship, though.
All right, fair. But Zilda is not headed directly to the Aeon cutter.
Oh no, Zilda let you know he's going his own way, and the apprentice is going to be giving him some information, whether he likes it or not. And he will then pass that information on to you guys. The thing
that's easiest to track in the Force.
Yeah.
Which is the Sith apprentice.
And also him.
Fair.
Yep.
So yes. Long answer short, yes, you can track people through hyperspace. It's hard. Unless you have a tracker, in which case it's ridiculously easy.
Fair.
So it seems that our 2 options as presented thus far are either straight to the cutter or to Alderaan first. Are there other options?
A haven stop between your ship and
you completely roboted there, Aaron, and we only got bits and pieces of that sentence.
Right. Let's try again. Unless someone knows a place between us and the Aeon cutter, don't tell me my internet connection is unstable. I know I don't have a solution to that at the moment.
I mean, if it were me, I would just have a stable internet connection.
I really like the idea. The idea that since we're all communicating via comms, that actually came across in character.
That'd be hilarious.
Unless safe haven between Aeon cutter and current location, yes, those are our 2 options.
Does anyone know of an actual haven between us and that?
No, but I should also probably point out, since certain things have been mentioned on this, one of the big confrontations I heard that we're going to run across is between Mandalorians and the Republic. So, yeah, signing off. Click.
Zelda
She doesn't want to hear the argument that's going to ensue out of that.
Zelda
But
looks
she also
over.
doesn't want anyone to be surprised.
Zelda looks over at Ilyana and just starts laughing.
All right.
Very well. Votes for the cutter.
Yes.
Nerys.
Avazia.
Avazia.
I
Votes for
Cutter.
Alderaan. Oh, all right. Tolba.
I will vote for Alderaan.
As will I.
Liana, I know you turned your column off, but if you want to vote, you should.
I mean, Crack's still there next to Ilyana.
No, you're on the Shio, remember? You went
Jeremy,
to...
you muted in
he-
Zoom.
He
Sorry.
came over when he heard the vomiting sounds.
There is beeping from the on off in binary that comes across with Cutter.
Okay.
I am abstained because as the pilot, it would be unethical for me to vote because I could just take you wherever I wanted anyways.
So Cutter
Noted.
it is, right?
Are refugees regularly brought to the Aeon Cutter at any time?
I mean, we do front as a relief organization. I would
Yeah, but
assume
do
so.
we bring them to the home base? Is the question there?
occasionally, occasionally, yes.
Okay.
Particularly when some of you will be aware. Actually, Graz in particular would be aware of this because Cathian is or not Cathian. That's your Dragonborn. That's your Dragonborn homekeeper in D&D. Hang on.
Awesome streams.
Yabashuza?
No, Cassilian.
Cassilian, okay.
Cassilian does high risk. Cassilian likes to do high risk stealth operations, and whenever he has rescuees that need to be extracted from hostile territory, he will often make a stop after a fairly circuitous route that takes him an extra couple of days to get back to the Aeon Cutter. He will often make a stop at the Aeon Cutter to swap out ships, so that the people that he rescued in one ship appear coming off of a different ship elsewhere. Because Cassilian doesn't do anything if it's not high risk.
Right. That's how he rolls.
Because he's a Corellian, and Corellian live their life dick first.
Well, if we're heading back to the Aeon Cutter, make sure you're plotting us a course, as you suggested, that will lose any immediate tail.
I will do that once my internet decides to actually let me in.
Uh-oh.
Is there any more business we have here then?
Zilda, unless Zilda has anything, I believe it's time to leave explosively.
And say goodbye to Zukin.
Those of you that aren't currently on the ship, we're leaving in May.
Did we decide if Crack had gotten to Ilyana, or is he still going in the direction of the vomiting with?
We'll say you're getting there now.
Okay.
Roz will make sure that they've gotten everything battened down then.
Mm-hmm.
She will probably just be walking off the ship because she did hear all this stuff, even if she didn't.
Yeah,
sure.
Wasn't speaking. It's like, what are you doing here? Aren't we getting on the ship?
I was coming to make sure you're all right, clean up the mess. But if you're coming back,
The mess will clean itself.
I suppose entropically that's correct.
Exactly.
Well, so
all messes break down eventually.
You have one other choice to make.
I like how Ilyana has a philosophical argument against washing the dishes.
Thank you.
So do you want to be tank buddies with Corsorath or with me?
Worth noting, Corsorath is going to be in a back to tank for 4 hours. He's not going to be there long.
I know, but this is still the conversation that Crack is having.
I'll wait until one's available.
Oh, there's one available now. Let's get you in first with Corsorath, and then we'll swap out once you all fit as.
We could do that,
jizz
but
flute.
your martyr syndrome is boring me, so you're going first.
Well, I have to help plot the astrogation path.
Then I guess I'm taking a while.
You don't, because they have a nav computer.
Again, I applaud out of character. That's confusing me because the last time I played the system, we had to roll for astrogation every time.
You do if you don't have a nav computer.
If you don't have a good this is a fancy ship upgrade. Astrogation computers usually don't come on ships.
Nav computer, having an astrogation computer nullifies the need to make an astrogation roll.
I thought there was always at least a nav computer, because to do so without one was essentially suicide.
If you do so without one, you have to have a thing.
Yeah. Frequently, there will be a droid that essentially is the stand-in.
Okay.
That's why there's a lot of R2 units.
But we've got an onboard
R2
droid
are
brain.
Specifically the
Correct.
units that do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't have a nav computer, you can make it yourself, but it's really difficult. Or you can have a droid make it at a much lower difficulty.
Okay, so my old GM was basically just fucking us over for the entire campaign.
Or playing the game differently.
There are different ways you can
also
interpret that.
Roll things like faster or be stealthier or augment things.
Yeah.
Because unless there's a despair, you're not crashing into a sun, and there's not a despair unless someone upgrades the roll.
No, but what functionally, what can we do to plot a semi-circuitous route that would be tough to track?
So yeah, if you wanted to make a more circuitous route, then that would require an astrogation roll.
Yep.
Okay.
And it would be a difficulty 2.
Does Red have astrogation?
You might want to take that because Red is a dumb.
I'm sorry, Aaron, you broke up.
No, you should take that.
Okay.
I'm a pilot, not a smart person.
Fair. Okay. That's why I have the Crabots.
Yeah. We have the equivalent of the computer on the Ebon Hawk in KOTOR, where it's like, here's the planets, pick one.
Okay.
Yeah. The Nava computer can plot any basic course through known hyperspace routes by itself without anybody having to make a roll. If you want to do something more complicated than that, then you have to make an astrogation roll.
I just like how hard Aaron just went against pilots. I'm a pilot. I'm not a smart person.
Look, in this system,
I know.
means writing dick. Yes, I'm including Hera in that conversation.
Swinging Leku, maybe. All right. That's the combined roll.
I mean, look at every good pilot in Star Wars.
Advantage. Wait,
right.
no. Okay, no, hold on. Actually, that didn't work because that's not my combined roll. That's the combined roll.
Okay. You successfully plot a more circuitous route to the last known location of the Aeon Cutter.
That was the same number of dice.
I was gonna say it's
Oh,
the
wait.
same roll.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. I was actually looking at my underworld roll, which was just all green dice. So it should have been the first one. The first one was right.
You successfully plot a more circuitous route to the last known location of the Aeon Cutter.
Can I just take a strain?
I'm not doing anything.
And how long is that going to take us?
That route will take you about 3 days.
All right. Departing in half an hour. We're going to be in hyperspace for about 3 days. One of you should probably call and let them know we're coming, because I suspect that your weird, not Jedi, not Sith cult also would be a little confused about someone random radioing in to tell them.
I like this one.
Well, while one of you handles that, I'm going to sit in this back to tank for a few hours, and then the rest of you can have it.
And before we get into that conversation, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. If you're watching on Twitch, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. We're back. Okay, so who's calling the Aeon Cutter?
I was just gonna vote Avazia.
Apparently, Avazia then.
Avazia is the face of this group. Let's be honest.
You're not wrong.
Avazia was gonna say Nere's, but she can do it.
No.
Nere's is in the oil bath.
Oh, okay. Avazia can do it.
Huh?
Oh, question. Do we still have the refugees with us right now?
They're in the lower level of the ship, but yeah.
So we're bringing them back to the Aeon Cutter? That's the plan?
We have
Mhm.
like half of them, right? The
You
other
have,
one
yeah,
is
you
the-
have, whether or not you're leaving them there, you haven't really decided yet, but you are bringing them with you, yes.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's a safer place than any.
All right. And she will go ahead and call them.
You get Cassilian on the line. Yeah, hello.
This is Vazia with the Shion.
Shio.
Shio.
Ah, right.
Sorry.
That's right. You're Graz's team. Yeah. What's up?
Yes, we have some refugees with us right now that we are currently bringing back to the Aeon Cutter.
Cool. We will get some facilities prepared. Do you have our current location?
I believe so. Do we have their current location?
You have their
Say
last
it
known
again.
location.
We have your last known location. If we could have your current one, that would.
So you don't have a
Oh.
current one. Got it.
Yes.
All right.
We have an
let
idea.
Let me forward that on then. You get a there's a data burst that comes through the communication. You now have their current location.
Yay.
Awesome.
Would you like to make that astrogation roll with their current location as opposed to their last known location, which is different because the Aeon Cutter is a ship and moves?
No, let's
No, I'm
keep
good.
let's keep going the way that we're headed.
But I got a lot of successes.
I
on
was-
that last.
I was hoping someone would key into the fact that I kept saying last known location.
Well, I mean, I was aware of that. I didn't think my character would care.
We're gonna go where we're gonna end up.
Do you want me to make another one, or
Yes, you would need to make it. You would need to make a new one.
Okay, I'll
Because
take the second
I
after
will
roll I
offer
already rolled.
unskilled assistance.
One success, 2 advantage.
Yeah, you rolled 2, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so
Fair
you plot a new course to a distinctly different location. This path is going to take you actually 4 days to get to.
Well,
This is going to confuse them even more.
No,
Uh,
it won't.
Still on the phone with Vasia. Anything else you guys need, or are we good?
That was it, right? Like out of
Refugees.
character.
If
Yeah,
you
just
want to
refugees.
warn them, that'd be.
there are refugees. We picked up a Jedi, and
Kitty's dead.
Kitty's dead.
Right.
That- yeah, that too.
Signs importance of
That's-
doom.
We're
Yeah,
all
you know.
fine here. How are you?
Yeah, there's a darkness that's going to be encroaching in a couple of days. You know.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
They killed Cade for no reason, shit like that.
There are a couple things. First of all, Kitty is dead.
That would explain the Wookiee.
What do you mean by that?
Did this happen like yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. Hang on. Zook has been making noise since yesterday and hasn't stopped. Now I know why.
Also, my mind just blanks on everything.
We picked up a Jedi. Darkness
Thank
encroaching
you.
on the ship.
Thank you. I'm sorry. My mind just blanked. We've picked up a Jedi with the refugees that we found.
In handcuffs, with a lightsaber, at gunpoint.
In a bar.
Like,
Former Jedi. Yeah.
Are you sleeping with them? More details, please.
We picked them up. We carried them to the airlock. We set them down. We closed the door. We hit the button.
I like that the answer is basically, no, don't be ridiculous. They're flying the ship.
actually,
Also, no eyes.
The Jedi is currently piloting the ship.
So you trust them.
For
It's
now.
a strong word.
Why? Okay. Anything else?
Also, Ileana looked into the future with her ability,
Mhm.
and there's apparently a darkness approaching on the Aeon Cutter within
I
the
mean-
next couple days.
That's always true.
It might be a little different this time, but
I'll
just to warn you,
I'll let Nibishuza know.
I believe that was everything.
All right. When you guys submit a report, you submit a report. You hear him sort of like soft chuckling under his breath as he seems to be writing something down. All right. How's Zilda?
Zilda's fine. He's going with he's leaving in the other ship, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's leaving with the Sith ship that we acquired.
So you
we
acquired
murdered the
you
people that
acquired a
were in
Sith
it.
ship. Okay.
Yes.
I-
We
you-
murdered the people that were in it.
So you murdered some Sith. Got it. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
more to the report.
And he has some prisoners with him.
Are any of them Sith?
Yes.
Yes.
Were the Jedi and the Sith fighting when you found them?
No.
Okay. I need to teach all of you how to do a report. Okay.
Time I've done this. I'm sorry.
Professor Rath has done many a report.
Anything else that you think might be innocuous but may not be, like any additional weapons recovered, any additional like significant changes to your party makeup or intentions going forward.
I mean, we do have we picked up some weapons.
Some weapons.
The Archon
I
also
don't-
blew up a Sith listening post.
I mean, that's need to know.
By this point, I think Graz walks in, having
you.
heard Avazier's
So,
half of the conversation.
I leave it up to you guys whether it's possible. I really like the idea that Ilana's just sort of been sitting in the corner quietly, not anyone realized that she was there,
Jeez.
just sort of listening.
Cillian, is that you?
Yeah, Graz.
Yes. We touched base with Zilda on the space station above the planet. Our descent to the objective was eventful, but we made it. Neutralized the hut installation, and it's primed for detonation at this point. We're bringing back a collection of armors, small arms, that sort of thing for the most part, as far as acquisitions. Plus, could Graz have gotten a head count of exactly how many refugees we have in the Shio?
In the Shio, we'll say about 75.
Okay. Rough head count of about 75
They're-
sentients.
They're all sitting very closely together.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Believe those are the primary salient aspects. Zilda is moving towards the core worlds and Republic space in order to offload the one surviving Sith apprentice and the Imperial troopers we captured.
That Sith apprentice probably won't be surviving for much longer.
That's why we used offload rather than imprisoning or something like that.
So anything significant happened on the space station?
Zilda destroyed a Sith listening post in order to cover our tracks for us, which
Okay.
was very courteous of him.
Writes it down. We need to know these things because if something comes back at us, we need to know how to react. Anything else?
I threw
Um,
up.
Thank you for the input, Ilyana.
Yep. Glad to help.
Aside from Katahab's death, Graz will sort of squint and think to themselves for a minute.
How you doing?
I'll
by the way?
have
Pirates?
I'm still here. I may be taking some time once we get back to the cutter, and I'll have to stop in and speak to Saris.
Right. Anything I should prep her for?
News of her family.
That's new. Okay. Didn't know she had a family.
Is Crack still in the room prepping the nav computer?
Yes.
Okay. In the background, you can hear.
Twilight.
I tried to buy her a drink.
Did
and then she tried to take me captive.
did your Quarren just say he tried to buy Saris a drink and then she tried to take him captive?
No,
He's had an interesting day, and I believe he's becoming a little delusional.
Graz's idea.
Okay. Prepare a data pad with a more formally written out explanation of everything for when you get back.
We've got a few days. I'll get that set. For
All right. Well, I've got the basics for now. We'll see you when you get here. Come around the dark side of the planet when you get here. It's tightly locked. But there are currently a few scout ships on the sunny side.
Very well.
Right. We're on the dark side. I'll see you when you get here.
So am I.
Somewhere in the background, because Ilyana has wandered off, you hear, Crack, are you in a back to tank yet?
No. Still getting your coordinates programmed.
Avhazia will look at Graz. I'll try to get better at that.
Bullshitting people takes time and practice. You'll be fine.
I used to be pretty good at it. It's just been a few years.
No worries.
Cassian's over there, or Cassilian's over there going, fuck, I need to teach them how to give a goddamn.
I feel like Red probably went off to like get food or something to give this conversation some privacy.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
So
You
gonna
have
have a hell of a time getting out of that back to tank and coming out with. Okay, so you said what?
but Corsarath is unconscious in the back to tank.
Corsarath, the one person who's not quite self-sacrificial enough to refuse to heal.
Crack is about to either be unconscious in a back to tank or be unconscious and be dragged to a back to tank.
The
Avhazia will
astrogation
help.
chart is set.
Yeah. Crack goes off and gets in the back to tank.
All right.
Okay.
As the
He's
ship
not suicidal. He just has his own list of priorities.
As the ship takes off, you hear over the intership comm from Zilda. All right, everyone, be sure to tune your eyes to the base. It's going to be quite a sight.
Already seen it.
Yeah, Graz will go watch the explosion.
As the two ships peel off away in two different directions, there's just quiet, and then the place collapses in on itself from it's almost like, you know how like toy lightsabers basically have that concentric cylinder design, and where when you collapse them, it goes smallest cylinder first all the way down until it's just a flat thing. That kind of happens with this pyramid-like structure, where it's just as everything falls in on itself.
Cool guys don't look at explosions because they're unconscious in a back tank.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
That's right. Crack
Red
and Corsair
continues
too.
piloting, unable to see this.
As the spice mine, as the building above collapses into the spice mine below, sealing everything off quite nicely and making it also, in addition to just being a statement, also completely closing down that spice mine for the future, because now, in order to reopen it, they don't just have to excavate the mine, they have to remove all the debris from the mine as well. And the ships take off. As you break Atmo, another message comes in from Zilda. Good work, everybody. You need to work on your teamwork as a whole, but you get the job done. See if we ever work together again. And
John, quick question:
Yes.
Was that destruction the site I could have seen? The location that I could have seen the destroyed compound in question?
yes,
Okay. Okay. He's starting to put things together.
and Zilda's ship blinks out into a hyperspace jump.
Graz is going to head up to the bridge then.
Once presumably call conversations are over,
Yep.
Red'll head back, sit in the pilot seat. We're jumping.
And, you all feel that pressure, and then release as the ship jumps into hyperspace.
Four hours later, Corsarat gets out of the back
Well, before that, Graz goes up to the bridge.
to tank.
As Jack made a statement of intent, then ate something, which caused him to have to wait until he finished eating.
I was letting Aaron figure out where they were. Anyway, they'll go and sit down in the co-pilot seat, then
Mhm.
start trying to do just some basic monitoring of scanners.
Yeah, just as a clarification, if you look at the ship right here, instead of the two seats being next to each other like they are here, the co-pilot seat is back a little bit.
Okay.
So it's like
Makes
off
sense.
to the side.
Cool. Our communications liaison said that best approach what our point of destination will be from the dark side of the planet. It's tidally locked, but there are some scout vessels on the lit side, so we should probably best approach from the other.
Understood.
What should I be looking for as far as people following us or keeping an eye out? As Graz is, for the first time, trying to familiarize themselves with an instruments panel in a pilot. See.
It's probably really weird because none of the readouts are doing what they should be doing right now.
Awesome.
Well, not in the pilot seat. In the co-pilot seat, they're still normal.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
They're separated areas. I remember.
Yes.
In hyperspace, anything that's been latched onto our ship,
Right.
and half an eye towards the Force, allegedly.
Very good.
I've missed this. Nothing quite
Oh.
like flying.
Well, you've got 4 days till to figure out that you hate flying with us on board.
You would have to be very, very annoying to be more annoying than a pile of younglings. But we'll see.
Joke's on you. They are a pile of younglings.
But are they a pile of toddler-aged younglings?
It's just a pile of younglings in a Wookiee suit.
I mean, physically,
3 younglings in a trench coat. Is that what Graz is?
The Wookiee skin unzips.
It was really weird. We saw this Wookiee, but its growl kept sounding like Utuni.
It's 3 Jawas stacked on top of each other
Exactly.
inside.
Inside a Wookiee suit.
I want to put
That's how we introduce Graz's our Jack's next character. If Graz dies, the body unzips and a Jawa comes out.
Yep.
oh my god. Yes, I am so down for this.
I have an anime recommendation based on that statement that is not necessarily safe for stream.
Good to know. Also,
Well, I'm horrified now.
I'll tell you about this later because it's a horror thing and I think you might actually enjoy it, but
oh,
Anyways.
I totally will then.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Anyways. Anything else happening for the next 4 hours?
Graz will take a little bit of time away from scanners. And is there a roll they would need to make in order to figure out which pages in Kitty's journal Crack is going to want the most?
Aaron, was Kitty's journal particularly encoded or encrypted?
I mean, aside from the fact that Kitty understood it quite well, anything that had been successfully accomplished or had a recipe, especially, is very easy to understand and probably has a page to itself. My understanding is that the 2 ongoing projects that Graz had identified were, 1, that thing potion from Kitty's backstory, and 2, the homebrew
The tracker.
yeah tracker, the tile thing from might be mixed in, but I think there'd probably be separate sets of pages for different projects.
All right. So Graz will use their data pad to scan the pages and only the pages specifically related to the tracker and forward those to Crack's data pad. Everything else is remaining undigitized and in their personal possession.
Right. So, Crack, you get a digital readout of a recipe.
Okay.
Make me a...
Well, I'm still in the back to tank. I can go ahead.
Someone's
and
in the
Oh, wait,
back
no.
to
Yeah,
tank.
yeah, you're in a back to tank. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that
I
you'll
have
get that when
2
you're away.
critical wounds to recover from. I got some back daying.
You're going to be in the back to for a few days is what we're coming. All right. So that gets
I
happening.
could do some sketches while I'm in there. Some back to tracing, if you will.
Corserath gets out of the back to tank.
Fuck you, Craig.
Corserath steps out of the back to tank. Fully clothed, apparently, because a lot of people just get thrown into a back to tank fully clothed for some reason.
Yeah.
I assume that once they come out of the back to tank fully clothed, they just take those clothes and they put them in the incinerator.
Well, Bacta is this sort of almost gelatinous substance, so it actually
I need vaporizer.
peels off of you as you come out of the tank.
Ooh, like Jello. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you want to wear your clothes after a Jello bath?
No, absolutely not.
Also,
In all honesty, Corserath probably took his armor and clothing off, got into the back to tank. Got
also,
out of it,
no, you get put into a back to tank in a big diaper. Literally everybody that's ever been in a back to tank in the movies have been in a big diaper.
Yeah.
Except for in the newest movies where for some reason, in addition to the diaper, there was also a bubble suit that was just leaking.
I mean, this is why I'm going to say in many respects, the reverse is very much the case. But in this one respect, Starship Troopers is better than Star Wars.
Look, all of Star Trek science is held together with duct tape, hopes and dreams, and maybe a little bit of the Force.
Or Star Wars, yeah.
Star Wars. No, Star Trek has actual science and mumbo jumbo and professionalism.
Yep. All of Star Trek's science is held together by technobabble. In Star Wars, they don't
put too much air in a balloon.
And
technobabble and idealism, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in Star Trek, it's held together by technobabble and tachyon pulses. In Star Wars, it's held together by spit and duct tape.
Tachyons are for Star Trek as powers of magnetism are for Marvel. They literally do everything in the Star Trek universe. Whatever you want them to do.
There are 3 things that they don't do, and those 3 things you fix by simply reversing the polarity.
That's more of a Doctor Who thing, though.
I first ran across it in
Doctor
Star
Who
Trek,
got it from Star Trek, though.
Now we've No.
Doctor Who, thank you very much, came into existence before Star Trek.
Yes, but reversing the polarity, it wasn't a Doctor Who meme until the rebooted series.
You're very off track.
Pertwee was using it, and he's the 3rd Doctor.
Okay, I realize we're very off topic at this point, but
don't try to out who me.
I don't go back much further than 4th Doctor. So
who
never fucking said anything about reversing polarity.
No, he didn't. It was mostly a Pertwee and the guy before Pertwee, whose name I cannot think of at this particular point. No, McGann's like 8.
Yeah, no, McGann's much later.
Anyways, sorry, I will be here forever if we get in Doctor Who facts.
Anyway,
how many tangents deep are we?
I have literal thousands of episodes of experience in that.
Corserath gets out of the back to tank.
Yep.
And
in his big potato diaper,
gets dressed into his armor.
And it's almost perfect timing, like as walking out of room, walking in room.
Yeah. And
presumably passes by Ilyana. Back the tank is open.
I know. That's why I'm coming.
Right, of course, yes. And who is he going to find first? Avazia is going to find first.
Avazia is probably in their room just laying on the bed, resting for a little bit.
So what did I miss?
I'm really bad at giving reports.
Just this slight smirk. They keep handing you the microphone.
Yeah, they do. I used to be good at this.
You're exceptionally skilled at deception. But
I used to be good at talking several years ago.
A lot's happened in several years.
Yeah.
Direct communication is still more my forte than yours.
Yeah, I think I've forgotten how to do it. Graz helped finish the report.
If you are ever uncomfortable, you can always, whenever they hand the mic to you, hand it over to me if you need to.
You were in a back to tank.
I was in a back to tank in this particular situation, yes.
There was no one else in the room.
Hand it to him anyway.
Liana was in the corner, but she wasn't really doing anything.
But You are better
That
at the
would-
art of deception than I am, because
That would have been hilarious.
I
Yeah.
have had to actively shut myself out of it. So.
Hand it to Avasia. Avasia hands it to Ilyana.
You do not want Ilyana making the
No.
reports.
No, that
You
Well,
got
it's already all happened, so you obviously know what happened.
Right.
What do you think about what's
Ilyana,
happening tomorrow?
struggles
That's going to
with
be pretty fucked up,
causality,
huh?
what has happened so far, what other people do not know.
Like, I will play the party face all the time, but when I'm not, I'm really not.
Avazia will look at Corsair. I can't rely on you for everything. I need to learn these things myself.
absolutely, but when it comes to matters that concern the entire group, we should play to our group's strengths.
Yes.
You will be able to deceive someone far better than I typically can. And in the situation of us calling to get into that base, you were the better option handling that call.
Like I said, I'll get better at this.
We're all improving as time goes on. I think I'm the only one who's actually been in the position of having to give regular reports before. Maybe Red has, I don't know, but I think I'm the only one who's had that life situation of being directly subservient to someone who wanted regular information dumps.
I believe so. I don't know the full backgrounds of everyone here, and I know nothing about Red.
Hmm.
I haven't even introduced myself to her. I don't really care to.
Well, we will learn more about our Miraluka friend as time goes on, I suspect, assuming Red doesn't decide to depart at the first chance.
She's welcome to.
I should probably go check on the cockpit as well.
I'll go with you.
Aaron gets a third character sheet.
If you guys ever decide, okay, we're kicking your character off, I don't take that hard at all.
Aaron, don't worry. If your character gets kicked off, it's going to be, it's not going to be on planet. I'm pretty sure of that.
So, as
We are not a good group of people, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
as Ilyana, because you have to kind of go, the bag to tanks are near where Nereus' room is, which is what I think, I'm pretty sure, right? The oil bath got set up.
Yeah,
in
the oil
Nereus'
bath
room?
got set up in.
Yeah. Nereus is trying to calm down in there. So you probably get the wave of just emotion that's coming off of them because you have your force sense things.
The pause. Because she's probably getting in the process. So you see a probably barely dressed.
I don't see. I'm underneath the oil.
Well.
Yeah. I get
Camera
what you mean.
sees.
Look up
Yeah.
because doop.
The head tilts up.
What's wrong?
I am attempting to calm down.
You're not doing.
It is
a very
fine.
Good,
Please
not
go
doing
into
a
the
very
back to
good
tank.
job of it.
Well, I am attempting. That is why I said attempt.
You should try harder.
Thank you.
No pressure, but
Just be calm.
if you can't calm down, it's gonna. I'm just saying bad things.
Thank you. I
might
am
happen.
aware. That is part of the reason I am upset.
Okay. That's
Please
gotta
go
be.
in the-
Okay.
Back to.
Have fun.
How unhelpful Ilyana is. You should.
Look, there are
You're,
things she can do very well.
I know.
And then there's dealing with sentient species in any sort of real way.
it's like the. So you're trying to calm down. You should just calm down.
Yes. Isn't it that easy?
No.
I mean, when I need to calm down, I just shut off all my emotions. It works well.
If it were me, I would just be calm.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do. But right now, I need to have them open because I'm trying to heal faster because that's important. It's the whole thing.
So,
It's good.
how many hours does it take for you to heal? Will it take for you to heal yours?
6, and then 1. I have 1 hour left to get down to 0 wounds.
Okay.
So 6 and some change. Basically. It's like 2 hours left.
Okay.
So, of course, Wrath and Avazia head up to the cockpit.
Unless it's going to be really inconvenient for you guys, Red's probably still there.
I mean, that's part of why Corserath and Avazia were headed there.
Fair enough.
So, Corserath heads up to the cockpit where Graz and Red are at, presumably.
Yep.
And Corserath steps up behind the co-pilot's seat. So, how has everything been holding up while I've been asleep?
Fine. We're still about 4 days out.
Anything of note happen?
Cutter's been notified to our approach, gave us their best directives as far as docking vectors go. Red's been informed on that.
Yes, I heard the story of the report being brought in.
It was a little slapdash.
Vazia shoots Corserath a look.
He didn't imply anything with that.
We managed.
I was going to say, I've been married for 16 years. It doesn't matter if you intend to imply anything. Implications
Still
can
your
be
fault.
interpreted.
Oh, no, yeah. He knows. But
I accidentally make implications by going, okay.
Yes, clearly that's an implication.
That has implications.
Like
in it.
I'm not even
Depends
being.
on the way
I'm
you
not.
say it. Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like
No, I know.
clearly that's an implication.
It's just like I respond to almost everything with if I don't have any further input, my response typically is okay. It's like, what do you mean okay? I mean okay.
I like sure. Sure is my favorite.
I like okay because in my mind at least okay sounds less condescending than sure, but apparently it just doesn't matter.
It
Narrator
frequently
voice.
doesn't matter.
It is not.
That-
It is not less condescending.
Sending then sure.
Anyways,
so anything else that we should be concerned about in the foreseeable future?
That's more Ileana's department.
You know what I meant.
And I think she gave as much detail as she had. Red, any projected issues on the course ahead? Are we likely to need to stop, alter course, make changes, dodge obstacles?
not specifically. We're taking a roundabout course. We're gonna drop out of hyperspace at least once. I can check exactly how many times, and
3 jumps.
we'll be making 3 separate jumps so that we're not headed right there. I don't anticipate that we're running into anything, but
Mm-hmm. Well, for what it's worth, I think all in all, we've managed something good here for once. Considering how our first departure went, this has been an improvement.
I may be stepping on toes here, but the nice one that died, your twin, I assume, whom she
Kitty,
was the pilot.
She has a name.
No one's told me. I very much appreciated her help, but I never actually got introduced.
Her name. Well, I leave sharing her name to Graz if they so
Lebowski
desire.
just said it. So
Yeah.
Gave the nickname. I don't know if Katahab feels like being shared. But anyway,
Kitty was not the pilot.
no.
Kitty was.
Our engineer was handling most of the astrogation work.
It's a decent astrogator, but I can see where you ran into trouble trying to fly this beauty.
The pilot, per se, on the mechanical aspect was largely the droid.
Well, I have a few things I need to take care of. And Graz stands up and leaves.
Orsarath looks over.
I don't like that whenever you make a screenshot with Windows, it loads the screenshot into your copy function, into your clipboard.
Yeah.
Even though you're not going to be pasting it. Like,
I actually super like it. But...
Is that a sort of leftover from when more of what you were doing involved immediately pasting things?
Possibly.
So print screen, its main function is to copy.
Yeah.
And then you have the option of also having it automatically save that into a screenshots directory. So the annoying part is the primary function of the thing, and then assumedly you throw it into Paint or Photoshop or something.
Yeah, but I use a secondary screenshot utility that saves it as an image file rather than having to do that.
Yeah.
But also still saves it into your clipboard.
Yeah, I do that. I have the same thing. Like it automatically saves, just because of the amount of screenshots I have to do for work stuff. It automatically saves it into a screenshots folder. But yeah.
So when I go to paste
Windows,
something,
we have a clear button for where you pressed a screenshot, but it does something slightly weird.
Yes.
Every time I go to paste, because like at work I copy a thing that I have to put a lot.
Right.
And every time I go to paste that, I end up pasting a link to where that file was saved on my computer.
Oh.
Rather than
that sort of thing.
Yeah. It saves like the like browser, like the internet, like the Windows Explorer URL of the file into my clipboard.
Interesting. That might be because of your screenshotting software.
I assume it is. Because
that's not a Windows thing. Because I can print screen, and then you go into Photoshop or whatever, and you paste it in there. But it also keeps my text separate.
Yeah.
But of course, Rat looks over his shoulder and sort of, as Skrawls is leaving, I realized when I said improvement, I was speaking too generally. More referring to the actual action of moving the ship.
Once Graz is headed off, Red will sort of spin around. So, what do you need?
Mostly an understanding of our current pilot.
Okay. Shoot. Metaphorically, please. There are delicate machines behind me, and I'm not quite good enough with my lightsaber to defend them while avoiding death.
Well, let's begin with, we'll call it work history. Where do you come from in your training background?
Okay.
Jack, do you need sugar?
Yeah, Jack, you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
Just making sure, because you're kind of nodding a little bit there.
Sorry.
Cool.
We needed to make sure the diabetic wasn't about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes priority 100%. I just realized I had not noticed that at all because
No, yeah.
screens. Yeah. Okay.
I have the facial hair to caution Jack about his condition now.
So
It's pronounced
you can't just see what you need to do
diabetes.
before I can get to this. I'm just gonna see. Okay. So I grew up on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple. I was force sensitive, obviously, and had a decent amount of talent. I trained to exterminate, at which stood against the light and the Jedi and the Republic. I was a Padawan, which is not quite the same thing as an apprentice from what I heard of your conversations. More like in training under or direct supervisor. Well, I guess that does make it sound the same. Oh my god, my brain is still not. And for my assignment, I was asked to head to a certain part of the Outer Rim and track down a rogue individual by the name of Ronan. Track down probably meant kill, but I didn't get that far. I hitched a ride with the Republic ship and realized that they weren't any fucking better. They were just trading with some goddamn slavers, and there's definitely like the aura of dark side. Nothing is thrown because I don't have that horsepower. And I was inconvenient to them keeping that a secret. That answer your question?
Just about. Your story is surprisingly an inverse of mine.
There's a significant effort to tilt the head in the direction of where Avasia was last heard. And you?
No questions.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm curious as to why your grudge extends to the entirety of the Republic. Surely one operation trying to keep itself hidden does not necessarily denote the entirety of the government.
I don't see it that way. If you're gonna be better, you have to be better. And this wasn't some secret operation because I didn't know about it. This wasn't a one-off thing from someone who was... This is Black Ops. My job, like they wanted, is to eliminate unsavory things. It just so happens that they're the unsavory thing. I would probably be a lot more forgiving if I hadn't been literally enslaved for several years as a result of their actions.
This is a fair point. I suppose.
Sorry, she's too self-aware of her act. They're too self-aware of their actions. We can't have them as part of this group. Sorry.
I suppose on my end, I'm too used to the Empire being a unified on the surface, but quite fractious and internally strife-filled organization to think of one group as a representative of the entirety.
Yeah.
So, for convenience of establishing a background and a dialogue, for what it's worth, you come from a situation that is different, but bears a number of similarities to my own. My mother is a Sith Lord on the Dark Council who decided that she wanted a child as a weapon to control. I wasn't something to be treated as family, as one might expect, but a conveniently sourced assassin, shall we say. Used for my force abilities and assigned to kill anything that my mother deemed worth removing. Until one day, the weapon grew a conscience and cut itself off from its abilities, rendering itself useless, and then to be handed off as a political favor to a political ally's family. Looking over his shoulder at Avazia, where two broken individuals found that they could maybe put themselves back together with each other's help.
I like that Corsarat delivers this with all the cadence and importance of somebody dictating their biography to a writer.
Yep.
I just picture somebody off in one corner typing.
That's a lot more grandiose than, and I was raised to be an assassin, and then the organization that wanted me to kill people decided it was more convenient to sell me off before I blabbed about their shady dealings.
I mean, I was raised to be an assassin, and I quit.
Good on you. Like I said, more grandiose, more interesting.
I don't know if maybe. How many names do you know on this ship?
Well, if you're gonna ruin it,
I mean, that was literally
really
one of the things he had to go down.
Interact with people. I assume that Crack is either the name you have for the little droids that scamper around, or the Quarren in charge of them.
That would be the Quarren.
Ilyana is your prophetess, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Corsarat, Neri has introduced themselves. Little fear droid. I believe the one that took off in a different ship introduced himself as Zilda.
Archon Zilda, yes.
I've been trying not to tell you ask anything I'm not supposed to know, because honestly, I just want to fly a plane.
The bereaved Wookiee is Gros Tatha. And my significant other is Avazia.
Nice to meet you. And there is definitely a level of shade, and you should have told me yourself to that.
Sure.
While we're being honest about things, I don't normally keep it up but given your unique circumstances, you should be aware. When I look through the Force, I can see some things that aren't normally visible.
You will likely see a scar.
Is that a close enough approximation, John, to what I...
That you could describe it that way, yes.
Yeah.
It was more of a for you to be more of an injury than a scar, but like something that's still bleeding rather than something that's scabbed over.
You're not far off, but like visual sight, our sight is interpretation based.
That's the remainder of me cutting myself off to make myself as an act of defiance. I'm still building myself back up from where I was.
Well, it is appreciated that you've made some effort to, I don't know, whatever this is.
Introductions.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, you seem dispossessed from the Republic and unlikely to want to serve the Empire.
Yeah, no offense to your species, but the organization you left can kiss my ass.
You can intend the offense to my species all you want. I'm not exactly a willing member of it.
Another thing we have in common.
These face ridges are a bitch, let me tell you.
But I suspect, should you want it, there would likely be a position within the Twilight Knights, should you desire to take a place that stands between the two.
But you don't have to.
I'm not going to foist myself on you, especially when you just lost someone. It's not the same, but I have seen what happens when you have a small group, usually younglings training together, and then there's a replacement put in. I'm not interested in being that. If your order is interested, I'll have to see what they actually stand for myself. But if your group isn't interested, I'm not going to push it on you. And all of that is said towards Avazia.
You're right, it's not the same. And Avazia will walk off.
Peace is a lie, as is passion. There is no peace without conflict. There is no passion without serenity. The Force is one, not two halves of a whole. Where light and dark meet is twilight. In twilight, there is balance. In balance, we find the Force. Nonetheless, I appreciate you getting us to our destination, and hope that wherever you decide your journey leads, the Force guides you there.
Your ship's a beauty. It would be a shame for you to keep crashing it into everything.
Hey, things got crashed into it.
No.
That almost sounded... Sorry.
No, I remember the conversation Nereus and Crack had when the ship was initially landed on the planet.
I know.
Unfortunately, our engineer the astrogator, and our previous pilot, the droid, have differing opinions of what constitutes landing and crashing.
Yeah, if Crack were here,
It's
he would be-
landing if you intended the fireball or if there's no fireball.
Oh God, Crack's still worried.
I just like to say I appreciate how Red's comment sounded like a threat. It's a beautiful ship there you have there. Be horrible if you kept crashing it.
I mean, that is one way to take it. It was meant the opposite way. You have this nice shiny thing that I love, and I hate that you are not taking care of it.
The mighty fine horse you got there.
It would be a shame
But,
if something.
Yeah, at this
happened
point,
to it.
Red's gonna get up from the pilot seat and go find Ilyana, because the only person that's currently conscious who hasn't come and confront them yet.
Get it back to tank.
No longer conscious.
Oh,
I want.
that's fair. Never mind.
I want that scene to happen where somebody like does the be ashamed something happened to it to somebody's horse, and then the horse kicks them in the face.
Mhm.
Like, mighty fine horse you have.
Not
there.
a damsel in distress. Fuck you.
Yeah, be ashamed if something were to happen to it, kick, and that person's just dead.
I have a druid. This can happen.
And the owner of the horse is like, "Yeah, it would be."
Well, yeah, it's like
I
I
feel like that's a Geralt Roach sort of thing.
the one liner there is be ashamed if something happened to you. But
Anyways,
course Wrath.
Okay, everyone who's not confronted me is unconscious, so I'm gonna stay in the pilot's chair.
Yeah, so. Course Wrath looks over his shoulder at where Avazia left. Things will acclimate in time if you do decide to stay with us. For what it's worth, I don't think you ever could fill the role that Katahab left behind.
Wouldn't want to. Also, I'm not the type to go after the person who storms out of the room. So if you are, you're free to go do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I might not normally, but Avazia is very important to me. So, of course, Wrath will nod, turn, and go find Avazia.
Who went back to their room.
easily found. At some point, I will assume, unless you guys really want to role play out, no, not that one, this one, someone helps Red find a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to see that role played out.
Do you want to be the one doing it?
I'm in the Bactus tank. I don't give a fuck.
Nereus would probably like just if it seems like you haven't decided on one, would you like a description of the options available?
I am chaos. Hear me.
I would like one that doesn't have any colors or symbols that denote specific organizations, groups, or affiliations, but is convincingly aesthetic enough to convey the attitude of the bounty hunter or mercenary.
Aesthetic. Okay.
Nereus.
Don't
These
ask
ones-
me what that means. I can't see it.
I'll pick out ones that meet those criteria. Best I know.
Most of them are that.
Okay.
Plain black.
You pick one up and just hand
Yep.
it to Red.
There.
I'll take it. Put it on my belt or something.
Yeah.
I bring the rest of them to Crack because I assume there is some vague mechanical use for all of this junk.
You construct an altar of helmets around Crack's back to tank, in which Crack will be in for several days.
Parts is parts.
It's gonna be weird when Crack gets out of the back
in-
tank.
not
It's
in
like, why
Crack's
are
back,
there all
but,
these
like,
helmets?
Where he keeps the supplies,
No,
essentially.
engineering.
Yeah, I've been in engineering a bunch of times before, so
Okay.
I redo suppress.
All right.
Yep.
You are suppressed once more. Help! I'm being suppressed.
There's eventually going to be a moment where Red is actually using foresight and goes, "Wait, you can actually use the force? What the fuck?"
Eventually. So,
Yep.
Ilyana, how long will it take for you to heal, and do you have any critical
I don't know.
injuries?
How long does it take to heal 7 wounds in the forest train?
7 hours.
Well, no. 2 hours. Every 2 hours, 1 wound is healed. So that'd be 14 hours.
Okay.
Your
You
strain
answered your own
heals.
question.
Your strain
Yep.
heals just by being asleep. So.
Right.
Am I wrong that with Nere's, Ilyana, and Crack in back to tanks, there's an uneventful 8 to 12 hours?
Well,
Like, I'm not saying that we're the
Why?
bringers
Whatever
of
do you
chaos,
mean?
but
Nere's actually would have gotten out. I think. How many wounds did you
6
have?
and change.
many-
I had 7,
So
and I was.
you would have gotten out in 3 hours because you were doing your meditative thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, so you would actually have been out before Corserath was out.
Oh, it would have. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you were
okay.
healing an additional
Sorry.
2. So first hour was 3, second hour was 3, then third hour was the last one.
Oh, okay. Well, then the thing with Ilyana didn't happen. Sorry.
No,
Well,
you would have been out before Corserath.
It might have.
Ilyana went in when Corserath got out. You would have been out before Corserath came in. So it could have absolutely
Yeah.
it would have absolutely
Yeah,
happened.
it
Just
happened.
would have happened earlier.
Yep.
Okay, fair.
I mean, you could stay in the oil bath if you want. It's really comfortable.
It is. You can kind of float in there. I might at this point.
Like, just because it's not giving you any mechanical benefits doesn't mean you can't stay in it.
I know. Yeah, I think I would because, like, otherwise, what am I gonna do?
It's very
stand in a corner because that's
it's like
pretty much how I rest. I don't.
It's like
can't,
chilling in a hot tub, basically. So
yeah,
like,
I do
here's-
that. That sounds really nice.
When Ilyana does eventually get out, the first thing that she does is get like, I'm assuming there's a Star Wars equivalent of a marker.
Yeah, they're called markers.
Okay. Well, you don't know.
I do know. I'm the GM.
You're the
markers.
Star
I
Wars
don't
for
know.
paper is real.
And just proceeds to write backwards so it can be read on the outside of Crack's tank. I threw all your clothes out the airlock and then walks off. Oh,
Okay.
takes his clothes that are here, walks off and puts them in his room.
Okay.
Yeah, because Crack is 100% naked. Full Zorg.
Doesn't actually throw the clothes out the airlock.
No.
Partially because we're in hyperspace and opening the airlock would be a really bad idea. And the other part, just because that's not the point of the prank.
I was going to say I should probably roll to see if I've recovered, but can I not because I love this so much?
I mean, you have to wait 24 hours before you can make the roll.
Okay,
so,
yeah. So
and I'm out in 14, so.
Or in
Okay.
7, yeah, and Ilyana's out way before you would even
Okay,
begin to be out.
good. That's good.
Go ahead. So go ahead and make me that first roll, though. It's going to be a.
Yes, think about it. He's gonna have to sit in there for another like 2 days, freaking out over it.
It's going to
does
be.
Crack strike you as the kind of person who would be that worried about clothing?
A
I mean,
resilience
the question
check.
is, what gadgets
what
were in
check?
his clothes?
A resilience check with difficulty being one of the difficulty of your first critical injury is.
The first one I took, or the one with the lowest resistance?
The one on the top.
Difficult. Okay. Oh, I closed the dice pool for some reason. That's why I couldn't find it. Sorry. Nope.
All right. You heal another wound.
I don't have any wounds left. I'm
so
all
your
good. I
wounds are
just
all
have
good.
the crits.
Yeah, but you still have that grit. So at this point, you can decide if you want to get out and heal on a weekly basis, or if you want to stay in there until you heal all your critical wounds.
Well, I mean, I have 2 critical wounds, so he would at least try for 1 more.
All right. So you're in there for another day.
Yeah. We have 4 days, right?
Yeah, 4 days before you arrive.
Yeah.
Is anybody so while Crack is still in the back tank, unconscious? What's everyone else doing? Everyone else is now out, available to be out and about.
I'm gonna go find Ileana at some point.
Okay.
So,
Oh, hi.
you're the one who hasn't come to give me some version of either the shovel talk or a curious poking examination yet.
Am I supposed to do that? Because I don't. That never happens. I mean, we could start in on it if you want, but I really don't feel like it.
I'm not going to be pushy. I'm just trying to get any questions out now so that we're not in an inopportune situation. The worst time to try and vote the pilot out of the pilot's chair is in the middle of a starship battle.
Well, I mean, yeah. All right. So you put something down. I'm going to find out what I need to find out when I find it out. That's going to be whenever it's going to be. Right? Right. And if it ever comes down to the point that we do need to throw you out the airlock mid-flight, I can fly. It's just they keep forgetting that fact. So it's all good. Cool.
You remind me of so many Jedi mentors, except for slightly more murderous.
That the fuck back.
I'll take it back when you don't talk in vague terms about how you know the future and are self-assured in your own greatness.
But I do know the future, and that's why I'm self-assured in my own greatness. So you want me to lie?
Part 1, I do know what's going to happen. Part
Which
2,
makes it more insufferable, yeah.
I'm not vague. I say what I know. Part 3, who the fuck thinks they're great just because they know what's gonna happen?
You haven't had a lot of brushes with the Jedi, have you?
No. Well, not directly. But no, I'm not great. I'm not great in this because I can see the future or anything like that. I'm
okay. Well,
because I'll kick your ass, but
whether or not you think it, you're coming off as smug, selfish, assured, and a little bit like you think you're above it all because the future is an open book for you.
I get that. You're coming off as the self-centered, judgmental, egotistical bitch who doesn't really want to let anybody make decisions because they're going to make hardline decisions about things and hide behind their trauma. So, we both got problems.
At least I can own that's exactly what I am.
I literally just acknowledged what you said of me. So, anything else?
At that roadblock, we're going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.